Hey guys, it's Kyle with Mixed Martial Aficionado. It is Sunday morning, and we're going to be going over UFC 295 that just happened last night. What a sneaky good card. Um, Obviously, Alex Pereira making, I think, history. I think he achieved a belt in two weight classes in the least amount of fights. I think the previous record was 9 by Randy Couture, and Poatan beats that by 2. I think he did it in 7. So props to him. Super impressive. Um, little bit of controversy in the stoppage, but we'll touch on that a little bit later. Without further ado, let's start breaking down this event. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you feel so inclined. Channel's still new and growing, and it's a process. So any little bit helps. Love you guys. Thank you in advance. Um, but yeah, so we will go all the way down to the bottom here. Where are we? We had Dennis Bazookia and Jamal Emmers. This was a pretty interesting affair. Um, I mean, Emmers was 2.5 to 1, minus 258 favorite coming into this one, and showed why. Um, I feel like he started he started too quick. I feel like Bazookia was sort of still like getting his bearings straight, and Emmers was just doing the classic firing low with crazy hard shots, and then he like sort of feinted with a left hook to the body and just came with a huge right overhand and put him down. Um, and then just sort of swarmed him with shots after that for the finish. Um, Next, this fight was sick. So apparently, Boras came in on short notice. I would really like to see this dude again. I hope he gets another chance. Um, because he had Van in some trouble. He has pretty serious power. He's got creative striking. Um, it just didn't seem like he had the gas tank. I feel like if he could have kept that first round power and speed, um, he could have been super dangerous. And I think he probably would have gotten the knockout, but he didn't. He sort of gassed after the first round, and man, Van's boxing was sick. Just really sick. Just huge combos. Um, a lot of damage to the body. I think he broke a record too. The most body shots landed in a flyweight contest. Yeah, I think he took that by 2. What's it with people breaking records by 2 in this event here? Anyways, we move on. I mean, good fight. Kong had pretty significant height and reach advantage, it seemed. But Castaneda was doing a really good job managing distance, getting in there, and scoring some really big shots. Um, yeah, by the end, you could just tell Kong was just he was like trying to psych himself up almost in the third round there, but in doing so was just like sort of walking recklessly into more shots. He ended up splitting Castaneda's eyebrow really bad at some point. I think in the third round. I didn't see what did that, but anyways, Castaneda gets the decision, and we move on. Jared Gordon and Mark Madsen. I mean, Madsen was looking really good early on. controlling the clinch really well, um, keeping his keeping control, I guess, in the clinch situations, landing some really powerful knees to the body, but being a little bit reckless um, in the striking exchanges, and Gordon took advantage of that. He knocked him out pretty bad um, with 18 seconds left in the first round. But yeah, Gordon gets it done by KO, and we move on. Another like war, right? I feel like I don't know. It was a weird fight. It was a weird fight. Uh, Borshov, he was or Barshov, I forget how they pronounce it, but he was looking really, really good. Um, Obviously, almost got knocked out in the first, but um, yeah, came back and or was it the second? I'm sorry, I think it was the second. But yeah, crazy, crazy fight. Nas busted him open with some pretty bad elbows, so his face was all bloody, all crazy looking. But yeah, he really managed to get his shit back together, and it seemed like Sadikov maybe wasted a little bit too much of his gas tank on trying to get that finish. Um, I think with like just one or two more shots on the feet, if he hadn't have if he hadn't have chased the finish on the ground, I think one or two more big shots, and he probably could have got the finish there. But um, he's fairly young in his career, so I expect him to make adjustments from this fight and come back better. Him being Nazim Sadikov, and that this one ends up a draw. So I mean, not not the best outcome, but better than Borshov winning for my parlay, anyways. That one just ended up getting scrapped or voided because of the draw. Um, I ended up cashing out a little 10x. Was it 10x? Yeah, just over 10 times. I cashed out at. Um, which one was it? I forget. I think it was before the Lopez and Sabatini fight, but yeah. Anyways, let's get back on track here. So obviously we talked about this one here, and we're moving on to some tough names on this card. I think it's pronounced Mateusz Rombecki or something like that. Polish names are notoriously difficult for English speakers. Um, versus Roosevelt Roberts. Roberts missing weight coming into it, and I mean Rombetsky just sort of showing why he was a minus 650 favorite. Um, he got it done in the first round by submission. It was pretty back and forth on the feet. It looked like Roberts was actually looking good. Um, it's tough because there was like a crazy height and reach advantage for him, and he was doing pretty good at managing distance, but as soon as Rombetsky got the takedown, it was game over. Um, at one point, Roberts looked like he was about to get out from under him, but he ended up in an armbar, and and that ended the fight. Um, and then we move on to Tabitha Ricci and Lupi Godinez. A little bit of controversy on this decision too. Some folks saying that they thought Ricci won. Um, Another case of sort of the fighter maybe starting to come on a little bit too late. I think Lupi secured the first 2 rounds pretty pretty easily. Still a tough one, but a tough one to score, that is. But I had it 2-1 um, for Lupi. So it is what it is. Ricci looked good out there, obviously. But yeah, not much to say. Not much to say there. It was a fun fight. I enjoyed it. But yeah, judges were a little bit sus in this one. But next we have Steve Urseg and Alessandro Costa. Steve Urseg, just like, I don't know if that's just like the way his lip is, if it's just like the shadow or something like that, but like he definitely did not have a hair lip last I remember. So I thought maybe he got like injured or something in training. Maybe he got popped and his lip split open leading up to the fight. So I was a little bit concerned when I saw him at weigh-ins, but um, I don't know. Not a very impressive win in my opinion. He looked good. He was popping him with the jab. Steve looked good. He was popping Costa with the jab. Sorry, I got to be more specific. Um, but eventually, it just turned into like hugging him up against the cage for minutes at a time, with not all that much action. Costa sort of just like whiffing ill-advised submission attempts. Like I don't know what was going on. It was a weird one. But scary power. I'm he clipped Urseg a few times, but Urseg gets clipped. Um, Tends to recover pretty well after he gets clipped. Even sometimes capitalizing when he does get clipped, and when the opponent sort of storms in, he's quick. He's good with submissions, but Costa was a black belt. I think I heard, or is a black belt. I think I heard them say on the broadcast. So a little bit harder to showcase submission skills or ground skills against a like skilled opponent, right? Next, Diego Lopez. I've heard it said a few different ways there. It looks like Lopes, but I feel like that is probably wrong. Um, Anyways, he fought Pat Sabatini and KO'd him in the first round. This this is going to be a little bit uncalled for, but I just don't really like Pat Sabatini. He's not my favorite fighter. Um, Not by a mile. Um, I was happy to see Diego get the win. Um, I do like him. Um, he's shown some really good stuff in the octagon so far. Um, his haircut and chest tattoo are pretty fucked up, but I mean, can't can't hate on him for that. It is what it is. He's a sick fighter, and I love watching him. Um, jiu-jitsu coach for um, Randy Aldana, um, Alexa Grasso, and the like. I I forget what gym they're out of. They're not out of Entrim, are they? Show their teams. I think I might need to go to the Sure Dog. It's there. I don't want to. Lobo. I'm sorry. Lobo Gym. That's the one. Just just thinking of the first Mexican team that comes to mind. Um, but yeah, yeah, sick fight. Um, for as long as it lasted. Uh, Lopez by KO. Sick. We move on. Matt Frivola and Benoit Saint Denis. Um, Battle of the Veterans on the Veterans Day show, I guess. Um, Man, I was really rooting for our boy the Steamroller, but it's hard to root against Saint Denis. He's just looked so good in his last few fights, with no exception last night. Like, man, that head kick was pretty sick. Um, Not something that you really expected from him, you know? I don't think I'm trying to think back to his previous fights, but I don't know. I feel like high kicks weren't necessarily his go-to, but man, very well placed, very well timed, and gets it done. Again, shout out to Frivola. I mean, he's a beast. He'll be back, and I still see him able to compete against some high level dudes in that division. I still favor him over Paddy Pimblett. I know the two of them sort of had some back and forths, but anyways, we move on. Andrade and Dern. Um, Dern was looking all right. I mean, Andrade really patient in the earlier parts of the first round. Um, not much to say about this one. Uh, we knew that Andrade's striking was way better than Mackenzie's coming into this, and we saw it. like like Mackenzie, you are a jiu-jitsu specialist, you know? Um when these jiu-jitsu fighters like start to get too confident in their striking or get some idea maybe from their striking coaches to like lean more into the striking and less into the jiu-jitsu, it's just like if that would have gone to the ground, it would have been like it would have been an easy finish for Dern, you know, if she would have been able to get Andrade down. But we've seen her struggle with takedowns in MMA previously, so I don't know what to say about Dern. I don't know what's left for her. um, Obviously, she's a name, she's a face, she brings eyes to the sport, but yeah, nobody likes to see these pretty girls get knocked out. So it is what it is. Dern kind of got a little exposed in her striking, but it's kind of a weird word to use when we kind of already knew that, right? Anyways, we move on to the co-main event. Our boy Tom Aspinall getting a very quick KO against Sergey Pavlovich on short notice with a back injury, apparently. My good God. Man, Aspinall is, he's something. He's a scary dude. He's got really crisp, fast striking, and Pavlovich is a beast. You know, he hits people with bricks, but you kind of got to wind up to swing a brick. You know. Um, and yeah, Aspinall beat him to the punch, literally and figuratively. Um, yeah, good thing they didn't have to do a dick measuring contest. But yeah, props to Tom, and I'm sure Pavlovich is still gonna be fighting and winning against big names. It's just I think Aspinall's like really something special, and will probably hold the belt for a while as long as he can stay healthy and avoid injury. We move on to the main event of the evening. Jiri Yiri Prohashka and Alex Pereira. Man, by this point in the night, I was fired up. I was super fired up. Like to the point where, like, hold on, like I've got this left Poatan signed glove, and I was literally just like throwing left hooks with it, just pumped right up. Um, set, man, stare down was sick. The walkouts were sick, and yeah, Poatan gets it done. Two division, not simultaneous, but he's officially tasted gold in two divisions in the UFC, which is super impressive coming from a strictly kickboxing background, having serious concerns with takedown defense and ground skill. But yeah, against all odds, my boy does it. Um, gets a knockout, death by left hook, and subsequent elbows um, late in the second round. Man, scary dude. They're both scary dudes, but I mean, Pereira not having to cut weight, just being a massive middleweight as it was, and even still being a pretty big light heavyweight. So, and uh, I don't know. He's got like a fucking, I don't know. That left hook is like, it seems otherworldly. like like people just like don't get hit by that and are okay after. Um, but it's besides the point. He gets it done again, somewhat controversial fashion. Um, Some saying it was an early stoppage, but I I mean, sure, sure. He Yuri could have somehow popped up. He could have um like spun out and sprung up, I guess. You know, some miracle could have happened, but I don't know if without Goddard's intervention, if he would have been able to get up so easy. So I don't know. I don't see a problem with the stoppage, but there you have it. That's UFC 295 broken down. Um, and we're only at 25 minutes. Ooh, it's nice. I kept it brief this time. Um, but yeah, that's gonna be it for me today. Love you guys. Thank you for popping by. A like and a follow would be greatly appreciated. And tune in for the next one. All right. Love you guys. Be good. Bye bye.